Hello, everyone. We are officially starting off Webinar Wednesday. We had a chance to catch up and chat with my group in Zoom. I always love the fact that we do not only a little bit of broadcast so that some people can take advantage of some of the content and information that we provide through these free webinars, but I always love to have a large group of you in Zoom because we can make it more intimate, we can answer questions and so forth. So if you are watching this as a broadcast, I really do hope you join us next time in the Zoom session so we can spend some time doing some Q&A and making sure we get your questions answered. What I really love to do for our webinar Wednesday is have an opportunity to talk about some trends, talk about things that we're seeing in the market, and also take an opportunity to share what we're doing as we're learning because video has been really a huge aspect of marketing, especially in these last few years. It's not that video hasn't been around for a long period of time. It's just that video is really kind of becoming more, I would say, within reach for many of us. And what I mean by that is, we're not necessarily looking for so polished, such production value that it looks like, you had a team of 50 people put it together and, you're releasing it at the box market type of feeling. Often what people are craving more and more is authenticity. People are craving more and more videos that look real and allow us kind of as real human beings to shine through. So what I want to kind of talk about today is how you can start creating videos, different techniques, different tools. We did have some questions that popped up that I didn't have in the slides at first, that's going to talk about even how to put the structure together. But we'll talk about that. And as always, I love answering questions. So we will make this as interactive as possible. For anyone who's new to webinars, new to Vegan Mainstream, maybe this is your first time hanging out with me, welcome. Love doing these sessions. Love doing what I do, helping other business owners, supporting people out there, and also just helping kind of this not only vegan business movement grow, but helping the vegan movement grow. It's one thing I'm very passionate about. It's something I talk about a lot, and I bring it up because I do want to make sure that as you're learning about us, coming to events, and seeing the work that we do, that you know that we are trying to be here for you as much as we can. All right, so let's dive into today's topic. Let's talk about video and let's talk about putting together a game plan. I would say one of the number one things I would highly recommend you do is before you start making a video, before you start trying to, get the camera out, get the right angle and all of that, I want you to put together a game plan. And what I mean by that is I want you to really understand what is your video purpose, and not just for that video, but even kind of across your business. What are you trying to achieve with video? I want you to understand who's the target audience and the distribution channels that you're going to use, because that's going to dictate not only how you record it, it's also going to dictate the length of it and even the types of videos that you can do. There's all these different variations on video content, and I want to make sure that what you build delivers on what your objective is. I'm going to talk a little bit about content. I'm going to talk about how do you build content around your videos, and some ideas I have around creating evergreen topics. And I also want to talk a little bit about the equipment, the editing side of things. I think for some people, you might be looking at the first three and you're like, okay, Stephanie, I can handle that. I can do that. But number four, if you're feeling that way, we're going to talk a little bit about it, because what I want to do is I want to show you how you can do this yourself, how you can set things up. Or if you do decide that you need help, and that's why I have that hire editor. I ran out of space, couldn't say video editor. I just put the question mark in there. Then we can talk about that. That might be an option for you. It's something we've done recently just because of the number of reels that we're starting to create. And I can walk you through how we've set up that process and how we brought somebody in a very reasonable way. Because I think sometimes when we want to do these projects, they start to skyrocket. They start to get way too expensive. And what we struggle with is, it's not something you can maintain, or it doesn't feel like a revenue tool. So it doesn't feel like it's something that, you can sustain because you don't have the revenue necessarily pouring in from the work that you're doing in video. Okay. So I'm going to go through a couple slides, but I do want to spend a few minutes on each one of these before I start talking about the video itself, before I share my screen and start showing you how I created different software, different tools that I use to create video. So let's talk a little bit about purpose. And I'm going to ask everyone to participate as much as you can during this session, because I think even if we're thinking it through and talking it through today, you'll start from a better place. You know what I mean? You'll start from at least some ideas that we've traded around and talked about. And then obviously when we get to our Q&A section in the end, I can talk in more detail. So let's talk about video purpose. Anyone who's in the session today, and you can use the chat, do you have a sense of what your purpose is going to be for your video? Now, there's a ton of different purposes and reasons. What I like to do in these webinars is narrow things down to what I think the most critical ones are, or the best place to start. So it doesn't mean that this is an infinite list of what you can do, but the three areas that I like to start with when I think about video purpose is number one, to promote. So promoting your product, your services, and what you're offering. A video, different video, to educate. And education can be two forms. It can be education from the standpoint where you're showing your expertise. It can be education from the standpoint where you're helping people kind of achieve something. And then the idea is that as they learn, as they grow through even your free content, which may come out through video, the idea is eventually they may, they sign up for your email list, they follow you on social media and so forth. So there is a little bit of a kickback process to it, a process where you're doing it to bring people deeper. But at the same time, it's not necessarily promotional in nature. You're not like, hey, let me teach you how to, let's use a cooking class example because I've been deep in a cooking class course. So if you're going to teach someone, how to batch cook, I don't want you to feel like you're educating on batch cooking and then you're also trying to sell your batch cooking class at the exact same time. What you really want to do is teach. You want to train. You want that video to be there. And especially since we're talking short videos, we got to get to that point and get them that information quickly. And then the last one is authenticity. I really, really, really love authenticity because it allows you to just speak to the camera. It allows you to just talk. It allows you to show people your day, your life, in some cases, maybe even a behind the scenes look. I love these videos because they don't have to be so polished. They don't have to be so, the way you think they should be, because they can be personalized to you. They're your story, your life, your work life, the way you do things. So therefore, sometimes you can feel a little vulnerable. I'll show you an example of video that we did that definitely made me feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to share this, even though it's true. Uh, but I definitely feel like those are important. So of those three, promote, educate, authenticity. Which one of those three? Just drop it in the chat for me right now and say, this is what I think my purpose is, one of these three. Or if I didn't give you one that you were already thinking about, drop that in the chat as well. Because it'd be great to just know what you think that purpose would be. And if you're like, oh my goodness, Stephanie, I hadn't really been thinking about the purpose, I need some more time, that's perfectly fine as well. I just want to get a pulse of where everyone is and what people are thinking. Love it. Authenticity, seeing a couple of those pop up. And we'll talk about authenticity a little bit. Promotion, driving traffic, authenticity, all three. I love my high achievers. Absolutely, authenticity, promote, perfect. All right. So that is a key first step, because if you're doing a promotional video, we got to structure it differently. If you're doing an educational video, we have to structure it differently. The next thing I want to talk about is target. Now, the reason I bring this up is there's so many places to put the videos. There's so many types of videos. And what I like to do and recommend when you're getting started is pick a platform to do video for. When we think about that strategy, when we think about the impact that you want to make, the reason sometimes we're struggling with video is we're trying to do it all. We're trying to be in TikTok, we're trying to be in Instagram, we're trying to do something in LinkedIn, we're trying to be on YouTube. We're also putting videos on our website. Maybe you're doing courses. I mean, what happens is you're trying to kind of make a video fit like all of these different options, and they don't always work in multiple platforms. Also, what I really want you to do is have a focus moment. I want you to have a moment where you build out some videos for a specific platform, see how it works, see what kind of feedback you're getting, and then you move from there. Now, if I had to give 3 recommendations on where to start, I would definitely start with Reels and Instagram. Now, love TikTok. We're playing around even more and more ourselves in TikTok. Um, but personally, I like to start with Reels and Instagram for 2 reasons. For a lot of people, you're already in Instagram, you're already using Instagram in other ways. So if you're going to add video, why not add video to a platform you're already on? So therefore, you might have a good rhythm around posting photos, posting images, posting carousels. And now what we're doing is just putting a layer on top of that by adding reels. Also, you can see analysis. You can see the difference in the results that you're seeing from reels compared to post. The other thing I love to do is do gifts in email. Anybody doing gifts in email? Everyone knows what I mean when I say gifts in email, right? Okay. When I'm talking about a gift in an email, here I'm gonna go forward in my slides really quick. Sorry, I forgot when I do it this way, it plays it all. You guys aren't supposed to see all of that yet. When you're doing a email, you can send out an email. And this is an example. This is one person I think does an amazing job of it. And I always love to show you everyone examples of how other people are using video content. So when you're sending out an email, instead of just putting a photo in there, you can have something that kind of moves a little bit. GIFs are traditionally, people use them in text messages. Normally, they're fairly fun things because people are like pulling them from maybe a favorite movie or favorite show or something like that. But from a business standpoint, you can create your own GIFs and you can put them in email or you can put them on websites. I like putting them in video because it moves, it catches people's eyes. And also, what I like about it is it's a great transition to other video content, to the actual bigger video, because you can't embed a video really into email, A, because of the size of the file, and B, most people's, the tools they use to read email can't support email. So a gift gives you a way to kind of have, quick graphic, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that, moving that will catch someone's eye or give them a quick preview. So what I would recommend is think about that as an option. Think about that as a way you can tiptoe your way into video, because you don't have to be on camera for all video. You don't have to be camera, photo, voiceover, and all that for video. And GIFs can really work well when you're creating content. All right, I'm going to come back to this because I also want to show you her website and how she transitions from email to her website and shows videos. But did that answer a question about GIFs? You can just give me head nods. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how to create one. Thank you. I'm going to show you how to create one in Canva in a few minutes. Okay. All right. So let's jump back up. Oh, somebody's unmuted. I'm going to have somebody mute themselves. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about as far as video is I love videos on sales pages. When you go to a sales page and someone is talking about their product or service, we tend to put a lot of text on there. We tend to put photos on there. But for anyone out there as my cooking class instructors, why not put a video of you making something? Why not pick a video of you making, prepping for one of the dishes, or even prepping for, or maybe even a cooking class trailer? Anyone out there who has a new book coming out, imagine if you just did a quick video showing the book, talking about the book, had the book, yes, and do that on video. It's a great way to take a page and make it come alive, because people get to see you interact with the product, interact with what you're doing. Same thing on the service side. Anyone that has services, think about including a video about what you're doing, where you're going. If you're doing trips, and especially if it's a place that you go to often, then show a video of you there, especially if you did a scout out for that location. Show a video of you there on that sales page. And that's a way we can drive sales with video content. So once again, I'm going to ask everybody, what's your thoughts on targeting? What's your thoughts on audience and distribution? Of the three that I gave you, do any of those three sound interesting? Any of those three you want me to, we'll talk more about and how to build them even in today's session? Or is there another type of video as far as distribution and audience? Now, I didn't talk so much about who, but when I say your target audience, I'm assuming it's still your customer base. But the idea is when we talk about a target audience for a sales page, then that's obviously targeted for people that you're trying to convert into customers. If you're looking at a target audience for email, then those are people that you're nurturing in your community. If we're talking about reels, reels, because of their exposure, is often trying to help you with visibility and reach maybe new people who are not already in the fold. So, what are your thoughts here? Putting videos on sales pages. Okay, I'm seeing something here. Um, Perfect. So there's a question about a GIF. A GIF is anything that moves, honestly. So the idea is you can create a GIF from still images. That's what I love about GIFs because it doesn't require, especially anyone who's maybe feeling a little bit shy about camera, about being on camera. And what you can do is you're just stringing together 3 images, 4 images, 5 images, and things can move. So for the example, as an author, what you may have as far as a GIF that you want to create is you may do a GIF showing the book. So, first image, cover of book. Next image is maybe the forward. Next image is maybe you even flipping through the book. So, it's just that, I don't have a book in front of me. Oh, I'll use my notebook. But, the idea that when you do something like this, so that could be image number 2. Image number 3, maybe the back of the book where it shows the endorsements in the book. You could even show drafts of the book or the box when the books first arrived. The idea is if you had like 4 or 5 photos together, you could put them together and turn that into a video that just loops. And that way people are seeing that loop. I don't know if anyone's ever seen those in emails where they just kind of a video that loops. Those are great ways to show someone something, an easy video to create. And it's a great way. We use it for like our online communities and things like that for a lot of our clients. It's a great way to create a kind of quick video insider look without having to record. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. All right, so I see some people with reels, sales page, and so forth. All right, some of you guys are being a little bit shy. Are you just thinking about what I'm saying? So jump in there in the chat. Don't be shy. I always love to answer questions. The next thing I'm going to talk about is content and themes. To build video, you want to know where you're going. You want to know what kind of content you want to share and why. What information do you feel like people need? What information are they expecting from you? So if you can sit down and say, okay, if I had 3 themes of information that I want to share, and you can do this in one of 2 ways. We talked earlier about promote, educate, authenticity. A couple of people were like, Steph, I want to do all 3. So you could start with 1 theme for promotion, 1 theme for education, 1 thing for authenticity. That's a way that you could get there. You could also have, 1 promotional, 2 educational. You can also have 3 educational. The idea is I just want you to start, and then eventually you'll add the other types of video purposes. I'll show you some themes that we use, and then I'll show you the videos that correspond with those themes that you guys saw as far as a quick little preview. But the idea is you want to make sure that you have a sense of what those pillars of content are going to be. I think what some people struggle with is they're like, well, I don't know what to say in my videos. And one of the best things I would say is, I'll answer the question about length of video. Give me 5 seconds. Is come up with things that you can talk about all the time. Giving somebody a best of or your top 10 tips. Like say you have your top 10 tips for saving money at the grocery store. Top 10 tips for nutrition, top 10 things that you should be eating every day, every day, every week. Maybe you have top 10 tips for, walking every morning, putting walking into your regimen. Top 10 tips for travel. Each of those 10 become a video. That top 10 series becomes a theme for you. And therefore, when you're creating video, instead of saying, I'm not sure what to talk about, because most video format, especially in social media, is going to be 60 seconds or 90 seconds. And that's not everything. So I'll explain that in a few minutes. You could do 10 60-second videos to walk people through tip one, tip two, tip three, tip four. And now that gives you 10 posts. So it gives you the volume that you would often need, but it's not the ton of work because these not only go together, they also take some continuity. And from an education standpoint, people are getting a lot of information because sometimes it can feel like in 60 seconds, how much can I help people? But if they can see it as a series in your top 10, I often tell people if they're not sure what to do, look at some of the blog posts on your website and the ones that have performed well. You can create a reel for it. So let's talk about length of time. Reels on Instagram are traditionally 60 seconds. Instagram has been rolling out a 90-second option, but not everyone has access to it yet. So as a default, I tell everyone to start with 60 seconds if you're going to do a reel. Now, Instagram will take longer videos. They just won't show up as a reel. They'll show up as video content. The difference between video content and a reel is video content is going to go to your feed. And for the most part, it's going to be shared with people who follow you or connected to the hashtags you use or some basic algorithms that Instagram has. Where reels are traditionally designed to show up on explore pages. Reels are traditionally designed to be pushed out to people completely outside of your network. So they help you discover new people and they help people who are looking for reels type of content to discover content that's similar to the content that they like. So the reason why I like and I recommend doing reels is it helps you with visibility in your business. It'll help you get a little bit more people looking at them. But I didn't want to make it sound like you can't do longer videos because you can in Instagram. If you're doing a gift, normally I'm going to stick to 10 seconds, max 15 seconds because you want it to be short and fast. And most of the time we're putting those in email and you need that loop. On a sales page, I traditionally don't want a sales page video to go over 3 minutes. Minute and a half to 2 minutes is the sweet spot for those items as far as length. Any other questions on length that I didn't mention? LinkedIn and on Facebook, they're just doing video content. So you can put content on Facebook just like you can put content on Instagram. You can put reels that you put on Instagram on Facebook. They kind of sort of try to function like reels, but from my experience, I don't know if anyone has any other experience themselves. To me, they're not exactly the same as the way Instagram does it. It just becomes an additional platform. And then YouTube obviously can do shorts, which are very similar to reels. And then YouTube, obviously, you can do extremely long videos as well. Perfect. So just giving you the links one more time, I had a question. So Instagram Reels, which is the place I probably recommend most of you starting, we're talking 60 seconds or less. And eventually you will have a 90-second option as well. You also can put longer videos on Instagram as well. While you can go up to the longer lengths, most people do try to stick to a little bit shorter videos because people's attention spans are in seconds, not in minutes these days. So I would think about that 60 to 90 second sales page, 3 minutes max. 1 minute to 2 minute is your ideal target area. And then for the other platforms, you have more time to play with. YouTube is going to let you go for almost hours. And their live streaming and all that stuff goes for hours. So you really don't have to worry about limits there. Okay. So let's go back to contents and themes. What are some of the themes you want to talk about? What are some of the things that you want to do? Oh, and gifts. Gifts are about 10 to 15 seconds is where I like to be. So let's talk about some themes. Throw out some ideas for me in the chat. Throw out for me, what kind of themes do you think you would be comfortable talking about? What type of things could you do a series on? Like I talked about, a 10-part or top 10. Or what kind of information would you want to share? Or do you want to, when we get to the Q&A section, want me to help you out or throw out some ideas for you. And like I said, think about what works on your website. And for anyone out there that does food, I don't want you to think that all reels are going to be food for you. It's great to have reels that show you cooking. It's great to do recipes, but it's also great to educate people on items, educate people on how to shop in the grocery store, educate people on nutrition side of things. And it's also a great opportunity for you to be on camera so they can connect with you. Because anyone who's an instructor, anyone who teaches, it's helpful for people to see you on camera, even if you're super shy. It's helpful for people to see you on camera because they can connect with you as their potential instructor, because eventually that's how the information is going to be portrayed. All right. And then we'll talk about equipment. If we have time, we'll talk about what equipment I use. We'll talk about equipment. If we have time, maybe I'll plug in my cell phone as a second camera and I'll show you my setup right here, right now that we're looking at. If you're interested in it, if you want to see my setup, let me know. I'll make sure I set up my phone while we're talking today so everyone can see it. But as a basic rule, when it comes to equipment, when it comes to recording, I like using my phone. Now, the reason I like using my phone is I tend to update my phone way more frequently than I update my computer. Normally my computer is on like a 7, 8 year cycle where my phone every couple of years I update it. So therefore the camera tends to be very good for reels because of the direction. Remember, reels have to be portrait. So when we say portrait, if you're looking at phone, it means it goes this longer direction that you want to do. I have an iPhone. I absolutely love an iPhone, but my husband has an Android. And we're still in the battle of, iPhone or Android, which is better. So you may have that same debate in your households as well. But the idea is phones can do it because most of your phones are going to have 8, 10 pixel cameras, and they work very well. The biggest thing with taking, with recording is often lighting. Most of us have just not found the right spot. So you just want to make sure you have the right lighting to light up your face in front of you, or if you're just struggling with lighting, if you live in a quieter neighborhood, or you can go to a quieter neighborhood, you can always do the videos outside because that's a way that you can get it as long as it's not a windy day. Or you just really can strategically use ceiling lights. I find that works really well as well. As far as recording, you can use lavalier microphones that click right into your phones. Those work really well. But what I often like to do is I like to record and then do a voiceover and match those two things together. I find this a little bit easier for me to do the voiceovers. And also because I'm often using a lot of B footage in some of my, or, footage where it's not like me really like one long take. I find that works really well with a voiceover. You can use a video cam plugged into your computer. The challenge sometimes with our video cams, if you've updated your video cam, most of the time you can do pretty good. Like the camera I have right now is a separate camera. So you can use that and you can get pretty good recordings from those. It's just for some of us, our computers and the cameras are a little bit dated. So you want it. So I try to use a phone instead of. Also, you'll have to do a lot more cropping because most webcams and most computer cameras are going to record you more of in horizontal, where if you're doing things like reels, you need it in portrait. So this is called this portrait. It's called this landscape as an example. Most computers are going to record this way. So you'll have to do like a cropped video. And that's why I prefer to use my phone. Lavalier. Oh, those are the things that click on. You know what? I didn't grab mine. I might grab mine real quick to, show it to you. But they're just ones that click in right here. They have a little microphone on it. They don't have extremely long cord. And then they can plug into the bottom of your phone. It's a great way to get a mic up close to you. And they're fairly inexpensive. They're only like $15 or something like that on Amazon. Okay. All right. Perfect. Those are the plan. That's the game plan. So I'm going to ask everyone from today's session, would you commit to me making a game plan after today's session? Let's say today's Wednesday. Do you need till Friday? I think you need till Monday. Like, would you say, I could put together a game plan like this, Stephanie? I could figure out my purpose, figure out my target, pick a couple of themes, and get my recording equipment together and have a game plan. Like, is that reasonable for me to ask you to put together your game plan? Okay. Now, I'd love to see it. If you're feeling bold, you can always tag me in it and take a picture of it and put it on Instagram. You can always tag Vegan Mainstream. We'll take a look at it. If not, you can always email it to me. Love, love, love to see it. Oh, no worries. Good to see you, Shyla. But I would highly recommend putting together your game plan. That is the first step in your process. Now, I wanted to show you actuals. I wanted to show you what we create. I wanted to show you different varieties of videos, because while we have somebody who does like a polished video and I can have, a video editor create them, I want to show you ones that I've just recorded on my phone. I want to show you ones that I just recorded of me. I want to even show you ones that, in some ways I'm like, oh, I should have done this with a different angle and all that good stuff. Because I think sometimes we all can critique ourselves. Sometimes we can all be like, I don't know if I like that on camera or want to show that on camera. So I want to be the first to say, I'm sharing what I do and how I'm doing it, so you won't be shy as well. So here's 3 examples of videos or reels that we use. These are themes for us. So example, I have behind the scenes. We have videos and reels that we're going to be creating that are showing you what's happening behind the scenes. And it's a contrast video series, because what tends to happen, and especially what at least I think you want to see, is that there's one side of the camera that you often see from me. You hear me speaking, you hear me in these sessions, you get to see how I interact and what I'm recommending, but you don't really get to always see my world, what it takes for me to get to this polished Stephanie look, what it takes for me to set up, my setup here at the house on my videos, and what are some of the things that I'm struggling with and I'm doing so that I can be better. And this was a great video that we put together to show people where I had updated my computer, I had updated my desk, I was changing all these cords, and I just had stuff everywhere. It was a hot mess. So we recorded it, and then we posted as a reel. And now it's a theme. I'll show people different things, my whiteboard in my room, how I organize my room. All those things become themes, and they become an opportunity for me to be a little bit vulnerable, to show you how I'm getting things to work. The middle one is a theme around self-care. I'm really, really focused in this year on making sure I'm just taking better care of myself. I had a crazy year so far, stressful, just all types of stuff happened. Made it through, very happy about that. But the reality is, I wasn't doing a good job of taking care of myself. So not only do I want to tell everyone to take care of themselves more, I want to show you that I'm doing it. I want to show you how I'm getting it done. An example of this, this is a video of me just showing you on my spin bike. My hair is not all polished because I'm on a spin bike. In the video, I'm stretching, I'm doing all that stuff because I'm just showing you what my routine is and sharing it. And what we think is this is going to be a great series, because not only will I show you me working out, I'm going to show you the things I'm doing and just show it to you in that natural habitat, not when I'm all made up and, I got the perfect lighting on me. The idea is I want to show you how I'm trying to do a better job. And then we have another theme called Inside a Coaching Business. So this is going to look more like a traditional video. This is going to have me providing advice, but this is more showing you kind of how we're running the business and how we're doing things. So it has a little bit of behind the curtains feel, but the difference is this isn't just living the life, working through the life. This is stuff that I can teach and I can coach on. So I can teach you how to create a to-do list, but I also can show it to you. So these are some of our pillar content. Did this give you some ideas? What do you guys think? Or have you thought about, having like a theme around self-care, or behind the scenes theme, or a training or coaching theme? What do you think of those themes? And also, let me see, how many people posted themes? I'm just looking really quick. No, I don't think you guys have posted some themes. Drop those in the comments for me, because I really would love to know what kind of themes. Ah, okay. Question about, doing some 2-minute clips. Oh, plank. Got it. All right. Um, I what happens is there's a couple of different videos you can do. You can do what they call time-lapse videos. So say you want to show something like in its entirety, but it's more than 60 seconds, more than 90 seconds, you can do a time-lapse video. So you can record 2 minutes, record 5 minutes, and then what it does is it moves quickly through that time in the 60-second period. That I find is such a great way for you to show videos like that, where you want to show yourself doing plank or show yourself working out. Maybe you show yourself gardening, show yourself doing or prepping something because people can see it. The other thing about it is because you're speeding it up, you can do just a quick voiceover over the video. And when you do a voiceover, the voiceover will be in standard time. So you get 60 seconds to talk, but obviously that 2 minutes is condensed down. That's how I would recommend it. That's how I would recommend doing things like that that are longer periods of time. Okay. All right. Appliances. Peggy, give me a little more detail of what you mean by appliances. Oh, you're thinking like in the kitchen. Like, are you using a air fryer, or if you're using something like a conventional? Okay, yeah. Okay. I know people have like these new like conventional little ovens that they're putting. They're almost like souped up, really nice toaster oven kind of things. Yes, you could do a series on that. You could do the top 10 appliances. You can use the appliance I use every day. You could even do a series where you show cooking different items in the same one. Say you did an air fryer series, and I'm just using air fryer as an example because it's one of my favorites. You could do a series where you can show you can cook cauliflower in it, one series. You can cook tofu in it, one video. You can cook this in it and that in it. So then people start to see all the uses of it. And because these are series, individual reels, in a sense, this is a great way to pull people in. Okay. All right. I'm assuming you're still thinking about your themes. So I'm going to just jump forward to the next slide because I want to show you how these videos start. Now, I didn't turn on the sound because I didn't think you needed to hear the voiceover, but it might come into my mic. So we'll just see how, if it goes the way I thought it was going to go. All right. Let's do video number one.
Everything may look good, but behind the scenes, sometimes things aren't as smooth as you expected.
All right, I'm going to stop that one. You guys could see that video, right? You just give me a yes in the comments. What I wanted to show in here is that the first clip is a clip we pulled from an actual video I did. I did a video for something totally different. And what we did is we grabbed that video, put it in the beginning, and then the next piece is just me holding my phone, walking around my desk. No, it's not too complicated. That's all the message. You'll get used to it. It's just like anything, it's like plank in the beginning. If you saw me do plank right now, I'd be on the ground in 4 seconds, but you can definitely get to it. And I'll show you some ways to get it done. But in this example, this is just me recording, walking around my desk. This is just an opportunity where I'm literally just showing it to you and I'm walking around, and then afterwards, I just record an audio file. You can record an audio file on your computer. I'm on a Mac, so I tend to use QuickTime Player, but you can use your cell phone to record voice. And at any point, all you do is put those two things together. You just need software to do it. I literally have the phone in my hand. I'm moving it like this. So I'm not making it crazy complicated to be able to do that, especially if I'm moving. Now, yes, they have devices that you can buy, but I wouldn't recommend that when you're starting out. The biggest thing is just not to move fast. And because remember, these are shorter videos, you often don't need a lot of footage. You can even technically take 2 or 3 and slice them together. Now, captions, that's the next level. I often tell people start with the videos, make the videos, add captions later. All right. I'll show you the software that I use. The software I use is called Wave Video. I use Canva because you'll also have a free account. And then I also use, if the video and audio is already together and I record it on my phone, I just use my phone to edit. Okay. Now, I'm just going to show you 2 more things because I do want to make sure I can answer your questions. This is a single shot. So you can see how my hands are in sync with the words, so you can kind of tell. I'm just recording it. So literally the way I did this is I had my phone on the end of my desk. Now I did use a tripod for this one. So if you have a tripod, tripods are pretty inexpensive. I normally get them from I got them from like Best Buy. And for the tripod, I think it was like $30 or something like that. I just set it on the side of my desk and hit record. I just get the right angle. And once I did that, then I recorded the audio with my computer. So videos on my phone, audios on my computer. And then I just brought those two things together when it was time for me to merge the content. I'm just dropping the links in here for the software that I currently use. And we'll talk about this as well in a few minutes. But often, I don't want you to buy all of this software. I don't want you to pick everything here. What I want you to do is think through what will work for you. And I also use my phone for video editing as well. Okay. All right. I'm just going to skip through this last video just because of time. I do want to mention, if you're struggling, if you're like, Stephanie, this is a lot, you can hire somebody. But this is what I'm going to recommend. If you hire someone, you're not hiring someone to video. You're not hiring someone to create. What you're asking them to do is just do the editing. This should be something where you do like 10 videos together. So that 10-part series, like we talked about, you send them all to them at once. You send them the video file and the audio file and the instructions on what you want, and then they create them for you. The reason you want to batch it over is because they can make them all look alike. They can drop in any captions, they can drop in any logos or anything that you want in there. And that way you can get it done in a set. And I mention this to people because I don't want you to hire someone. I don't want you to have a huge bill, but you can find people on tools like Upwork, on Fiverr. You can even post it on our job board and say, I need someone to edit 10 videos. They should be edited down to 60 seconds each. And what you'll provide to them is you may provide to them 5 files for each video, and then they'll slice it together and put it together. So that is one way to get started. And then as you build out your experience, you can start to work on your own. The other thing I want to mention is creating video does not have to be the traditional, let me grab my phone and record it. You can use software to do it. One of my favorite tools is a tool called Loom. Anyone familiar with Loom or ever heard of Loom before? I'm just curious. What I love about Loom is Loom will allow you to record the screen and have a little bubble. So see that little bubble of me in the top side with my eyebrows all up? That is me walking people through my website and showing them the website. I use these for promotionals. I'm going to explain that about playing them. I use these for promotional videos. I use these for different options. Now, Loom has a free option up to 5 minutes. If you pay for the software, you can have longer videos. Now, there's a way to share Loom videos, which I absolutely love when I'm just, giving people advice or showing things. But when you're going to use these for marketing, when you're going to use these on your website, when you're going to use these even for gifts, you use the download feature. And when you use the download feature, you don't have to worry about that play option or that play issue, Victoria. So you should be able to download them. They'll download as MP4s and you'll be able to use them. So think about that when you need to create video and you don't necessarily want to do a full setup. Just like Nancy said earlier, like, can I use my webcam? This is a great example of how you can create video for your webcam. And then the other thing I did is, so this was in this kind of vertical, in this portrait approach, I just shrunk my browser down into kind of a portrait view. And then the site, went to a mobile version of the site, and then I did a walkthrough. So that's what I want you to think about doing. As far as editing and trimming, these are the softwares that I use for that. I use a software called InShot. It's an app that you can download on your phone. It allows you to do quick edits, put text over top, and do everything on your phone. If you want to be able to do it on your desktop, I use wave.video. I drop the links in the chat. I love this software because it allows you to bring 2 files together and drop them in. If we have enough time, I'll show it to you. And if you're really trying to get fancy with your editing, I like software. It's called LumaFusion. We use it on your tablet, and this is where you can do a lot more advanced editing. I don't recommend starting there. I recommend using your phone on the left-hand side. This is my iPhone. You can crop and trim on your phone. So if you're doing a video, what I tell most people is to turn on your video on your phone, right? You hit record. You walk back in front of it or step back a few minutes. Then you smile or whatever you want your starting expression to be. Hold that for 3 seconds. Then talk. At the end, same thing. Hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, then walk up to your phone. Because what we can do now is you can trim it to when you are looking and not like, your face is stuck. You can trim it within those 3 seconds to say, okay, here's the start of my video, here's the end of my video, and you can do that all on your phone. So, when you were talking about how complicated it is, how much it is, you can literally pick up your phone, use the audio on your phone, record it, crop it, and upload it. You can even record it, crop it, upload it to Instagram, and Instagram will allow you to add music to it. So you don't have to do all of the fancy stuff outside of your phone. You can do it right on your phone and get it done. All right. This is where we talked about video and using video in email. What I want to do, we have only about 7 minutes left. Sorry, I thought I was going to have a little bit more time for today's session, but I'll hang tight if people have more questions. I want to show you how to do some of the stuff. I want to pull up Canva. I want to show you how you can use software at your fingertips. And remember, when I show you these things, I don't want you to do them all. I don't want you to learn all these techniques. I want some of you to say, you know what, Steph? I'm a phone person. I'm going to do my reels for the next month on my phone, record them on my phone, crop them, trim them on my phone. So I have my phone, I have InShot, and I'm going to upload them and give that a try. That's where your lane may be. You're going to say, some of you are going to say, I'm Loom. I want to show myself, but I want to show things on screen. I want to educate. I want to teach. That's my lane. Some of you are going to say, you know what? I'm going to use Canva. I use Canva for other things. Now that I know I can use it for video, I'm going to expand. That's what I want you to take away from today. I want you to realize that this is an opportunity for you to do what you already do. Use some of the tools you're already using, like your phone, like Canva, like Loom if you're using it, and work through those to help you create video. And I find that's going to be the best way for you to get there. So, my folks who are in Zoom, hang tight. I'm going to have you come on screen. If you want to take off your video, you can, but we're going to have a little bit of a dialogue for the time we have left and make sure I answer your questions. Anyone who's watching this live as a broadcast, thank you so much for joining. Glad to have you here. Please join us in Zoom next time so I can answer your questions. But I really, really love the opportunity to kind of walk you through some of this. I hope I answered some of your questions today, and I look forward to seeing many of you in our next webinar. But my Zoom folks, hang tight. I'm coming right over there so we can chit chat. Bye, everyone, on the broadcast.